I'm Matt Cito. I'm a teacher, father, professional fishing guide, and passionate home chef. Come join me on my fishing and culinary adventures throughout Nova Scotia as I try to quell my angler's appetite. There's nothing more exhilarating than hooking into Atlantic salmon on the fly. But if you've done any amount of Atlantic salmon fishing, you know that it's not an easy task. On those hard days, when the fishing is slow, Cape Breton offers the most solid plan B I know of. Today, our target species is the rainbow trout, but we're after a different kind of rainbow trout today. These rainbows are ones that have escaped aquaculture farms in the area. I like to call them escapees. There are mixed feelings about escapees. The potentially negative impacts on wild trout and other species is concerning. However, on the flip side, they offer what I consider to be the best catch and keep fishery in the province. These trout range in size from 2 pounds to 8 pounds. Now normally I release any large trout I catch, but these ones are an exception. I consider it doing my part in controlling the escapee population, one delicious rainbow at a time.
There's a lot of fish breaking right in here. I think I'm going to pull it up on this beach or maybe anchor off the beach. Another fish out here. This is the spot. This is where we're going to start.
Having a boat allows me to access spots that would be a challenge on foot. The weed flats on this shoreline provide cover for one of the trout's favorite forage, which are sand shrimp, a small shrimp that lives amongst the eelgrass. All 3 species of trout in this lake love these shrimp. And although these are escaped, farmed rainbow trout, they're still a rainbow trout, and they still fight pretty hard. I'm not going to waste any time after catching this fish. It's time to make lunch. These fish make for fine table fare. Let's not forget, these fish were raised for consumption in the first place. For this shore lunch, I'm going to keep things simple and highlight the quality of this fish.
I'm going to keep this the skin on this fish and get it nice and crispy. That means we've got to get all the scales off as best we can. I like to scale the fish before I clean them. Just makes it a little bit easier. Aquaculture fish usually have a lot of fat content, so if you see a little bit extra there, just trim it off. A little bit of cornstarch, and like I said, this cornstarch is not meant to be a coating, it's just meant to pull some of that moisture out of the skin to get it nice and crispy.
The Brador is the world's largest inland saltwater lake, and it's teeming with different species that you can target. It's not uncommon to land the triple crown, a brook trout, brown trout, and rainbow trout all in one day. But not only that, you could also land a codfish, smelt, striped bass, white perch, the list goes on.
See if I can keep the skin intact. Here we go. Oh yeah. See if I can get under the skin so I don't rip it off. Oh. Keep the skin up, because if you put it skin side down, that skin's going to get soggy again. Let's leave that skin side up. Rainbow trout, Wakagama Bay. You know, there's mixed feelings about these fish being in the bay, and I get it. But these fish were grown for consumption, so they're fine eating. And I'm going to have the first bite, make sure it's all right for the boys. Absolutely no different than if you got it at a fish market or the grocery store. Dinner served, fellas.
This place is like a giant fish market. Usually a fishery like this would be kept on the down low, but take a drive along the lake in this area and it's no secret. Cars often line the road and everyone is catching fish. You can come out here and blind cast and catch fish. But I decided to challenge myself today. I switched to a floating line, topwater flies, and tried to target rising fish. I spent a lot of time cruising and looking for rising fish, but I just couldn't find any. The nice thing about being out here is you can be a little bit more selective. I just couldn't get one on the fly, and I needed to get deeper. So I switched to spinning gear, and immediately I hooked into a nice one. These fish are an excellent fight. They'll pull drag and leap numerous times.
Couldn't resist the blue fox spinner. Oh, okay, you're done. There we go. Woo. This is what we call here an escapee, meaning it got out of the aquaculture farms. You can see the fins here, they kind of get all chewed up and banged up from just rubbing against the side of the tank. So if you look, you can see their tail fins pretty beat up. That's a telltale sign that these fish are a hatchery fish.
This isn't the one I wanted, so he'll escape for a second time. But that's okay, I've got one in the cooler, and I have big plans for that one. Today I'm making chowder. Rainbow trout chowder. Everyone's got their own way to make chowder, but in my chowder, I really like to highlight the ingredients.
All right, now we're gonna make a little bit of chive oil to finish off our chowder with. Go some olive oil and some chives. Those chives kind of pulsed all through that oil. We're just gonna let it sit there until the chowder's done, and then we'll use it to finish off our chowder. Well, now we're ready for the star of the show. Take some of these pin bones out, make sure I don't have any in my chowder. Some of these pieces will probably get cut in half again. So what I want to do with this meat is I want that to just almost disintegrate through the chowder so you get a little bit of that texture and all the flavor of the fish to go through it. So you're not going to have big chunky pieces with this stuff, but that's okay because we have a lot of fish there to give us our big chunky pieces.
I want this delicious rainbow trout to shine through, so I'm not going to overload this chowder with ingredients. Just the staples. When cutting the vegetables, try and keep them the same size. This will ensure that everything cooks evenly.
Get our pot on the stove. Get that to about a medium heat. First thing, in goes our bacon. Veggie mix, carrots, onions, celery, and garlic.
The base of my chowder is milk, cream, and my secret ingredient, a can of creamed corn.
And this is not going to take long now. Now basically we're just waiting for that fish to cook through, and our chowder is finished. Fresh Waikagama Bay rainbow trout chowder, drizzled with that chive oil, little butter fried baguette. The only thing left to do now is eat. Oh man, that's so good. All right, we're digging in. Take that big piece of rainbow trout that's right on top there. The thing about this chowder, compared to like maybe the seafood chowder I make as well, the fish really shines through in this. And, you know, sometimes with seafood chowder, there's just so much stuff in there, which is delicious, don't get me wrong. But sometimes everything gets kind of lost in the mix. This, the trout shines through, and then you get like the smokiness of the bacon. That chive oil at the end is like a little finish at the end. It's just so balanced, it's so nice.